Welcome to What's on Your Napkin. My name is Jared Yellen, founder of Project 10K, and I got my man back. Episode number 2 in the house for What's on Your Napkin, Josh Bro. So listen, I know you live for this. I remember when we first met, you're like, you do that show? You think I can ever sit in? I'm like, yeah, come to the studio. And you're here, and I'm so happy that you're here. Why do you love early stage so much? What about the early stage idea just lights your fire? You're a master of it. So what about that gets you
I'm really looking for people's passion. I'm really looking for the energy that they create when they have an idea. They close their eyes, they're able to visualize a better future with this idea and all the people that could potentially be using it and the impact that it's going to make. It really excites me for living in a world where everything is possible.
I love it. That's why we do this, right? Because listen, every great company started on napkin. It started as a concept, and the founder of that napkin, the visionary behind the napkin, was willing to execute on it. They burned the boats. They had no plan B. They didn't negotiate against themselves. They didn't make compromises. They just went after it. And guess what? This show is the beginning of the beginning for these entrepreneurs. It's the beginning of the beginning, because what we're going to look for tonight, we have 2 people pitching us, is the right person with the right idea in the right market and the right business model. And we want to say yes. If we see right across the board, we're going to say yes to due diligence. And as you're here watching us tonight, this might be your first time here, I do have work for you to do. This is not just like a jacuzzi experience. You're going to sit and relax. There's no actual benefit from it. I'm going to work you. I'm going to make you sweat a bit. What I'm going to ask you to do is, when these entrepreneurs are pitching their vision, to politely let us know whether you like it or not. If you stand for it, why do you stand for it? If you stand against it, why do you stand against it? Help influence our decision making. Because there's a chance someone might pitch us tonight and we don't know anything about their industry. There's a chance that could happen. We don't know who's pitching us, but you might know. And you might be like, no, that's a solution, guys. You're missing out on a unicorn in an industry. Say yes to due diligence. So we take your feedback very seriously. So with that, who's our first entrepreneur? Joining us, sharing their napkin. What is your name and where are you calling from?
What if there was a simple business toolkit that got you paid by your clients, customers, and patients? What if you can set up your account in seconds and begin benefiting from all of the features in minutes? What if this entire platform is free? Business Toolkit is revolutionizing the way small businesses and sole proprietors are running their businesses by enabling you to manage your sales process from one platform from start to finish. Imagine canceling your expensive scheduling software, or discontinuing your clunky invoicing software, or eliminating your pricey task management software, and instead using one platform, your Business Toolkit, to drive your business forward. And don't forget, Business Toolkit is free. Sign up ASAP and begin saving money while you make way more money than ever before.
Well, you're back from commercial break with another entrepreneur who's going to share their napkin, their dream, their vision, with the hope and the desire that we can go on a journey with them, a journey to exit, right? An exit is really an exciting thing for an entrepreneur, because what that represents is they built enough value quickly enough that some other company or opportunity says, I want to buy it and take it further. And that's what we stand to do. We stand to convert napkins into exits. That's why we do this show. And we want to know, what is your name and where are you calling from? Awesome. Well, thank you for being here from Texas. Monique, you got 5 minutes. Please share your vision.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. Okay. What I bring to you today is MC Ethics. MC Ethics is a hallmark of diversity and equity inclusion training for all organizations. It's a simulation system designed to give leaders and their staff an assessment of themselves and in their designated work environment. MC Ethics can be set to create simulation of various work environments, i.e. police stations, medical facilities, and educational institutions, etc. What problem am I solving? In recent years, there's been an increase of organizations getting after improving diversity, equity, inclusion programs. Most organizations have done this by having DE&I experts come and provide training. This is great, but it doesn't get after identifying individual biases or addressing the biases that continue to hurt organizations and the consumers that they support. So my problem to the solution, MC Ethics is a simulation training that uses sensors to track the individual's emotional response that's within the head device and on the fingertips. In the head device is the primary component. It also provides the simulation for the system that of the individual's work environment. The individual is hooked up to the simulation and taken through multiple virtual scenarios that allow the system to capture data and identify the individual's likely biases or significant emotional response to a particular area of concern. Upon completion, the system will provide the individual a personal printout with their results, including potential biases or areas of concern, detailed description of the conclusion with historical data, references, and recommendations for improvement. The leader of the organization will only get a summary of the organization's results without specific names or identifying information, unless the system identifies someone with results that are aligned with characteristics of an individual that could potentially harm themselves or harm someone else. What is my economic model? So what you have here is very simple. MC Ethics creates the software and the system for this to happen. We sell it to DIE training certified companies, and they can sell it to their DE&I entrepreneurs. Another avenue is also providing direct sales to government agencies, healthcare facilities, social service organizations, educational institutions, police stations, etc. And this will be a trainer-trainer concept. With this trainer-trainer concept, we also will provide them resources for DE&I instructors for additional training. As far as the finance part, this is not an area that I'm super smart on, but what I do know is that Fortune 1000 companies on average spent about $1.5 million per year on budget for diversity departments. Smaller companies estimated between $45,000 and $200,000 per year. If we package this up at $5,500 per system, with one system being able to train 10 personnel, at 200 sales, we would cross $1 million. The go-to-market strategy is, for me, what I decided is challenging leaders to actually take action and getting their organization certified through MC and approved through MC Ethics. In order to do this, 50% of their organization has to complete the training. After completion of the training, they have to actually work towards some of the recommended solutions for improvement. And as a follow-up assessment, 20% of the organization has to improve within a year. This is the approval from MC Ethics. This approval is good for 3 years. Another pitch is organizations that don't have the MC Ethics approval are doing the minimum and not really taking action to get after the biases within their organization. And why are you a perfect partner? Because what attracted me to 10X is that you all are very passionate about wanting to do things, get after problems that actually transform the world. And I'm in the same boat. I have this, what I believe is a awesome idea on a napkin, and you have the tools and resources for us to make it reality.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you, Monique.
You can stop sharing your screen. I got some questions for you. So how many training companies are there? So this thing called TAM, which is a total addressable market, and your market seems to be these training companies that you're going to certify, kind of like train the trainer, and then they go out and they facilitate. How large, if you had 100% of the market, how big is that? I have no idea. So how big is that market?
I have no idea. I believe it's huge. When I looked up organizations that train for DE&I, there's a ridiculous amount. I mean, you have schools, universities that are doing 6 weeks, the 2-week certifications. You have the American Management Association. I could be saying that wrong, but they have their own program to do it. Human Resources, SHRM, they have their own program to do it.
So how much would you charge them? How much would you charge them to learn this and to use this? Like, what is your economic model? Like, how much do they pay you?
The $5,500 is my economic model. They would pay for that includes one training, but for that also includes one system. So they get the training, but they can buy one system. And of course, there are organizations that have more than 10 people. They don't have time to keep doing training. So the idea is that they would buy more than one system.
And then they're going to go and facilitate. How much are they charging when they go into an organization to do the facilitation?
They charge whatever their value is. If they think that they can build a program and charge an organization $45,000, that's fine. And they made a great deal. So I don't.
How much are they charging now? Like let's say they don't have, because what you're doing doesn't exist yet. So what are they charging now versus what would they be able to charge if they had access to your hardware and your software and your methodologies?
What I saw is diversity, equity, inclusion training it ranges from, if they're just going into train an organization, a one-time thing, from $600 to $2,500. That's what I saw. But diversity, equity, inclusion experts that are going in to build programs are getting paid between $45,000 and $250,000 to build a program.
How much more are they going to get paid because of your napkin turning into a reality? Like, how much more would they get paid? Or is it not? It's more of like a nice to have, which is fine if it is, but I'm trying to understand.
The pitch is that they would get more because this doesn't exist and it's a seal of approval. This to me is like the Better Business Bureau of diversity, equity, inclusion. I don't have an exact amount of how much more, but they can advertise to get paid more because they do have that seal of approval.
Monique, walk us through the use case. Like, walk us through what they're experiencing in the VR headset. Like, give us an idea of the type of questions that are being asked and the experiences that they're having to be able to analyze. I guess it's analyzed like is it a little bit of emotional intelligence, a little bit of like the reaction, how they're feeling towards a certain question or task that they have to do?
Absolutely, and it is environment specific. So let's just say if I'm working in a healthcare environment, and I'm just gonna say dermatologist, and I'm getting patients, and what the system will do will give you patients of different backgrounds that speak different language, some that you can hear clearly, some that you can't hear clearly, and the sensors. So there's a encephalography sensor that tracks the brain, and it provides an emotional response for brain activity when you're doing these different transactions. And the electrocardiograph does the same thing, analyzes your heart rate and your heart activity doing these things. And then there's also a skin graph that analyzes the sweat response in certain environments. And so when you're placed in certain environments and you deal with different people, the system ideally provides feedback in how you respond to these different people. So, and then it's also the leader's desire too. So ideally what I would like is to be able to manipulate the system to fit what the leader wants. So if they want to potentially see how they work within the organization, how are we communicating with each other, and is it different, versus talking to older employees versus young employees, foreign employees versus, international. It varies, whatever the consumer wants to capture.
Let's say a company's got 2,000 employees. You want to do this with 50%. How long does it take per individual to complete this test?
That I don't know. I think it would have to go through some testing. again, I'm not a tech guru. This is me on a napkin trying to think of a solution. So I'm not exactly sure. I think it would definitely have to go through some testing. And with that said, I do have two of my friends that have volunteered to give me a sample of their population to run tests on if this goes through. So.
I would strive for trying to figure out how to complete this in the shortest period of time if you're trying to go for large, medium-sized businesses.
Yeah. Let's see what our audience thinks. So what are your thoughts on this vision that Monica is here in the diversity and inclusion industry, where there obviously is need, for sure. There's a lot of money being invested into it as well. Is this a solution that you would bring into your workplace? And should we move forward in due diligence? So what do you think, my friend?
This is an industry I'm not too familiar with, but it seems like a really interesting idea. I like to see the direction that the technology is going, using virtual reality for them to experience that, and the brain sensors and using tech for good. I really appreciate. So I'd love to learn a little bit more.
Cool. So I'm going to disagree, and I'm going to say no, but I'm going to tell you why. So I understand you're not technical. I know it's a napkin idea. That's what this show is. What's on your napkin, right? So we stand for that. You said that you didn't know to at least 6 questions that we asked. That as a co-founder with us, we have deep dependency on your expertise around the problem that you're solving. And I didn't hear that today. You're wonderful. Like, you are a yes from a human being perspective. But I don't get the vibe that you're an expert on the problem that you're solving, which then means that we have to be experts on the problem. Like Josh said, he has no experience. I have no experience in this. No one on our team has experience in this, but that's not what we're experienced to do. We're experienced to build, scale, and sell tech companies. We need to rely on our co-founder to be an expert on the total addressable market, which you said that you didn't know, on how much time it's gonna take, like do more research, like figure out those answers, like with regards to how is someone that's gonna resell this, like how much more money are they going to make, like you weren't sure. At the very least, make a really good guess, like really think through, like if they're currently charging $10,000 because they have this device now that offers this much precision, they can charge $22,000, and that's why it makes sense to them to invest $5,500. Now you know your benefits. Because what I'm hearing you say is you don't even know the benefits of this. And if we don't know the benefits of it, there's no chance that we can sell it. And then one more piece of feedback for you and for everybody. This is love. This is love. I want you to win. I want you to win with this. I'm giving you feedback so that you can come back on the show and win for the next time that you pitch. Is you stated to us, I don't really know finances. We don't need to know what you don't know. We just need to know what you do know. Don't tell us that. But there's no way we would have known that. Like, you sounded very confident when you said it, but you prefaced it by stating, I don't really know finances, but this is what I'm thinking. Just tell us, this is the data. Like, we want significantly more certainty. So I'm a no right now. You need to step into the space of becoming an expert in the problem that you're solving. Once you do, I encourage you to submit again, come through the process with us. You are wonderful. You're meant to solve this. You just need to go deeper into the problem and your solution to the problem and have no don't knows. Figure out all the don't knows. We know how to build, scale, and sell. We need you to figure out the problem and the solution and get really specific. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming to the show. All right, after commercial break, we'll have another entrepreneur sharing their vision.
Blueprinted is the place where you can go in and put those steps in there and then be able to impact the world and monetize on that by having a marketplace and a community that we're developing for you in Blueprinted.
So we've created the app for any expert to be able to come in and put their steps, their exact steps to success in our app and put it on a marketplace where people can go and buy their steps to any success.
We are back from commercial break. We've had some awesome entrepreneurs, right? Just wonderful people, heart-centered, mission-driven. They have big problems looking to solve. Some of them are there and some of them aren't there yet. We have another entrepreneur right now sharing their vision with us. So let's see who it is.
Can't wait to see.
And where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning. My name is Carolina Restrepo and I am in beautiful Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Awesome. We love South Florida tech founders. We call them sexy tech founders. So let's take it away. You got 5 minutes. Please share your vision.
There you go. I'm going to share my screen now. Here it is.
Good morning, 10X Tech Tank. Thank you so much for having me here. My name is Carolina Restrepo, and I'm here to introduce you to PinMe. Our newest dating and socializing app that is looking to keep socializing and dating proactive, achievable, personal, and real in today's very digitalized world. The problem is, not everyone likes to use online dating for various reasons. It is hard to look at a picture and see if you have chemistry with someone. Catfishing is a huge problem nowadays. Fake photos and fake profiles. Too many messages from people you are not really interested in. Women and men who don't want to be the one or the first one to make the first move. People with lack of social skills or special personalities are in a very big, huge disadvantage. Not having the courage to be the first one to make a move for fear of rejection, and many more issues with the current online dating apps and options. However, in a busy world, how do you find a person to date or to become friends with when you are working all the time? Wouldn't it be better to have the best of both worlds, to be able to go where the singles are mingling and have an organic in-person encounter? You're already at a place where you want to be, at a place that you like. So the person that you are going to meet there already have things in common with you. So that will be one of the big problems or inefficiencies that we will be solving. Our solution to this problem is to be the icebreaker, pin me. A different way to interact, having many different alternative factors at play that make your move and decision much easier and personable. PinMe blends the ease and convenience of having access to singles or people looking to interact with one another and find new friends through a dating and socializing app with an in-person and unplanned meeting, just like it will happen naturally. You can see people and decide if you want to buy them a drink, invite them for coffee, flirt with them, cover their dinner or their tab, and get to know them through the app with an emoji or with a particular symbol that we get to select within the app. How it works. You subscribe to being a member. There will be 2 different options for subscription, or more than 2. We can work the details as we move along. It will be a standard or gold membership, for example. You will create your profile where you can put a picture of yourself and fill out the information that best describe you and the things that you like to do and what you're looking for. You will then turn on your location before heading out for the night or heading out for happy hour or dinner. And there will be an automatic turn off location for safety purposes after a certain amount of time, or after you go into a different location. You don't want to be on the app anymore and be open to mingles, and then you can turn it off. And then we can have the ghost mode in case you want to block a user from pinning you or from conversating with you. And the way it will work is it will pop pins of local single women or men, or local people that's looking for friends of your choosing. You will be about to break the ice and start conversations with someone that you might have interested in. You seeing the person face to face, and if they come up in your radar, you know you can start the interaction through the app. Why do I believe I am the right person to bring this idea to the world? My personality makes me the perfect user in need of this app, based on the feedback from guys that have felt intimidated by my personality or that I'm not approachable, keeping them away from me, keeping them from approaching me and trying to start a conversation. Also, having so many friends unable to successfully meet someone due to the way current dating apps work. Those friends with particular personalities or lack of social skills or with special needs to whom these current apps don't cater. They are still feeling left out or alone. They haven't successfully find that someone. Why PinMe is different from other dating apps? Other dating apps might use GPAs to locate profiles in your area, but it does not purposely use location services for you to see where they are POW on a Saturday night or Sunday afternoon so that you can show up and have an organic in-person meeting. You communicate with them solely through the app. So if a person is not interested or wants to be left alone, they can turn it off. Also, either person can be the one to make the first move. And there is no requirement to answer messages. You either like them or you don't. And you only contact them if they are present and you like them. So it's direct, live, getting to know one another, but the conversation or the icebreaker is through the app. The economic model, the revenue model, this will be a monthly or annual subscription. It will also have a social media aspect to it, as it can be used to find friends and like-minded people and where people are, the locals are hanging out. There are going to be local advertisers as well, which will be our target demographic. Restaurants and bars will benefit from all the traffic and promotion that the app and the way the app works will bring to them. Hence, there will be a paying advertisement client generating us more revenue. In the users area, these advertisers or restaurants and bars can sponsor dates, can sponsor drinks or have mixers and events at their venue, and they can have the PinMe drink.
Okay, one more minute. You're doing great. One more minute.
Plan single trips, day trips, adventures for singles to want to. The target audience will be the people described in our problem section and the vendor participating on the solution. I want Incubator to help me with the design of the roadmap and the market research, product marketing, and a very innovative launch. Something extremely creative, and that's what the Incubator brings to me, something that I lack. I want Incubator to be the one helping me get the idea to reality. I understand the buyer's journey and the pains, but I need also support with sales strategy, brand awareness, value metrics.
Cool, awesome. So thank you for that. So one thing just for future pitches, you really should pitch it. Like just practice it, get comfortable. Like people are gonna want to ask questions and make it more of a conversation than just listening to an audio. So we did, because I know you said that you were nervous, but there's no other environment in the world where that would work. So just to give you feedback. So with that though, we'll talk about the idea. Let's use yourself as an example. Would you want a male that you don't know just to kind of pop up out of nowhere because they know where you are? Would that make you comfortable?
So, for instance, the way this idea came about, like I was saying in the audio, my personality is a big block for myself. It's a huge obstacle for interaction. I'm an extreme introvert, right? So if I know this restaurant is my place to go every Saturday, right? Me being there, I like the ambience, I like the people, I like the menu. Whoever goes there has already something in common with me. If I'm looking at a person, if I'm looking at a male and I'm attracted to, or I like his vibe and his personality for what I can see, and we both have our app and it's pulled up and I see he has a pen, I know he's open for interaction the same way I am, right? And if he's open for interaction, I can break the ice through the app that's gonna send him the notification. I am buying him a drink or why.
I understand that use case, but like, would you like? My concern with this is like, then people know where you are. Like, if you forget to put on that snooze thing, creepy people could just start following you everywhere as well. Is there any fear that you have of an end user being really followed? Because you said like organic, it's really not organic that they're showing up. It's everything but organic. Like organic would mean that they randomly connected and it was like serendipitous. This is really not that. It's more of like, hey, beautiful woman, I know that she's there. I'm just gonna follow her around. Like, forget about the app. Like, I'm just gonna follow. Is there any concern? I'm concerned about that. But are you concerned about that for an end user?
I would say so. The instructions will be, or the way it will work is when you know where you're going. I'm heading to the restaurant, then I turn it on. I turn it on when I'm at the location where I'm interested to interact.
Then they see that. They then see that you're at the restaurant and they're going to that restaurant because you're there, not necessarily because they like that restaurant as well.
And people will go to the location where most pins show.
Okay.
So
on that topic, talk to us. Like, let's say no tech. We're not talking tech right now. Let's just talk about like what do you see as the launch strategy as far as the city or the geolocation that you would want to launch this platform in? And what does it look like? Are you partnering with restaurants? Tell us about the launch strategy to make it so that there's a lot of pins in an area and you don't have somebody just like, I'm gonna go to my favorite restaurant with the hope that somebody's gonna come and want to meet me.
Correct. Basically, I'm in my favorite restaurant. Let's see who's here that is.
Where are you gonna launch it? Because like you can't, like a platform like this, you can't be like, I'm launching to the world. Because like maybe you'll get like 1,000 total people to sign up if you're lucky, but they're completely across the world. So like there's no one that can actually connect. So where would you start?
I would say that my location, South Florida, is an extremely difficult market to establish personal relationships, like truly personal. South Florida has obviously is a little bit of everything everywhere, but South Florida has this facade or this front. It's really hard to get to the real person because everybody's trying to impersonate something.
So what would you do to start? So let's say you're picking Fort Lauderdale, right? Like because it shouldn't even be all South Florida. It needs to be like a really small area to get a lot of people to start putting pins.
How do you guarantee that people show up to the same place that you're at?
Yeah. So how do you start? Let's pretend it's built, because from a technology perspective, it's not a complicated thing to build. So let's say in 90 days it's live, but now it's go time, right? Like we have an app that allows people to pin and connect and do all the things that matter. How do we get 10,000 people in Fort Lauderdale to start using this?
The people is already here.
No, but how are they going to use the app? Getting them to download the app and pay for it too, because you're saying it's a subscription fee. So the people are there, but they're not on the app.
There might even be singles at a restaurant that are going to the restaurant by themselves looking to meet people. How do they find out about the app?
Well, I will say it will be the marketing strategy.
Tell us what that looks like.
The marketing strategy, which is not my forte, right? But that's why I thought about the vendors where the traffic is going to be located are going to be one of the main factors of the collaboration of the strategy, because it is a win-win for everybody.
Our audience thinks. So what are your thoughts on PinMe? Is this a platform that you would use to build personal relationships or even intimate relationships? And should we move forward with due diligence? Josh, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm a no for right now.
Yeah, so I want to help you here, because I do think that you identifying as an introvert is going to hold you back. And you're beautiful, you're articulate, you're successful. You can do anything you want as long as you stop identifying as an introvert. I'll tell you why, because I'm an introvert. And I can stand on a stage in front of 40,000 people with zero preparation and do my thing. Because I've chosen not to allow a word to define me. The reason why you didn't show up today as what I just said before is because you are identifying as an introvert. Don't let a word hold you back. Like, don't let a word prevent you from going to meet somebody. It's just a word. It means nothing. You're just creating context around it. This idea isn't thought through enough for us to move forward into due diligence. And it's also an extremely competitive marketplace with free solutions out there that are doing pretty much what this is doing. So from an idea perspective, we can't go into due diligence because we need more thought. From a human perspective, like, call yourself something different. Like, forget about the word introvert. Just like call it different. And the world will become yours. You have a great light, you got a great energy. Don't let that be the thing that holds you back. Thanks for coming, we appreciate you. So there you have it, another episode of What's on Your Napkin. 2 entrepreneurs. Unfortunately, you didn't hear a yes today, but know something, we can't say yes to everyone. We can't say yes if we don't see the right person with the right idea and the right market and the right business model. And right person doesn't mean that there's something wrong about that. Like, we have a whole set of criteria, right, Josh, that we go through. And there's 8 criteria, and all 8 criteria must be present. And if we're saying no, it's because maybe 1 or 2 of the criteria are off, or maybe it's not even a person. Maybe it's the idea. It's just too competitive a market. Maybe it's the business model.
We just want to see more. We just want to know more.
It could be that too. So today we had Monique, who shared a diversity and inclusion solution. Both of us have no actual experience in that industry. But the reason we said no was we don't believe that she had enough experience either. Right? There was too many don't knows. And that's really important, that when you come to pitch, that you have answers. Like, even if you're making it up on the spot.
We need to know so we can help you.
Exactly. Surveying, doing market research, or just being really quick on your feet. Really quick on your feet. And one of the things I talk about all the time, so I'm in constant pitch mode and also receiving of pitch mode, is if you don't know an answer, but you know that the question they're asking doesn't really matter, then it's your responsibility to dance around the question in such a way that they forget the question and you actually give them more information than they ever even thought they needed to make a decision. But the don't know, I'm not that good at, doesn't give us enough certainty that you have the confidence to be the founder that you need to be. So that was the reason with regards to the diversity and inclusion idea. Monique is wonderful. She just needs to go back to the drawing board, do more research, do more surveying. She mentioned that a friend said that if you get this done, you can test it. Find a way to test it without getting it done. I don't know what that looks like, but find a way to test it without getting it done. Next up, we have Catalina. And Catalina has a story that she tells herself. And the story she tells herself is, I'm introverted, and as a result, I can't meet people, my personality is difficult to handle, I can't speak in a pitch, so I'm gonna put an audio on, and I'm not placating her at all. I hope that this was the moment that she redefines what introverted means. Because introversion might just mean that you want to build meaningful relationships. That might be what it is, right? It might mean that you don't go after the width, like tons and tons, but you go after some meaningful ones. Doesn't mean you have to be shy. Like, I don't know where that came from. Like, why does being shy and introverted have to do with each other? I'm introverted, but I'm definitely not shy. I get on a stage in front of 40,000 people with no prep and I'm perfectly fine. But I would define myself as introverted versus an extrovert that goes to the party and the loudest person there. That's just not who I am, but I do build meaningful relationships, and being introverted has never held me back. It's actually catalyzed me forward. So for Catalina, we said no for a few reasons. Competitive industry, right? Dating sites and connection sites, really competitive. But speaking to why you didn't see it.
When you come on the show, there's a lot of things that you have the possibility of knowing by being very resourceful. If you don't have an idea of how you're going to launch it, if you don't have an idea on the technology and what the tech is exactly going to be, ask around, ask your friends, ask the internet. There are so many different communities of people that can help you figure out what it is that you're trying to figure out based on your napkin idea. So when you come and present it to us, you have an idea of how you're going to go to market without even writing a single line of code.
So not knowing is not okay. That's what it comes down to. You got to know. You got to have
we don't know
information. We're relying on you. The number one criteria, write this down. The number one criteria that we look for in a co-founder is that they are an expert on the problem that we are solving together more than we are. Because we're an expert on building the products and bringing them to market and scaling them and going for an exit and fundraising and all the stuff that's needed to actualize the vision. But we need you to be an expert on the problem that you're solving. So unfortunately tonight there was 2 no's, but you never know what's happening tomorrow night. So come back, join us. But listen, don't just join us as a spectator. Join us as an entrepreneur sharing their vision, sharing their napkin with us. Head over right now, pitch10k.com, pitch10k.com, and fill out the application. It takes about 5 minutes, it's free, our team will review it, and if we see potential, you might just be on the show. Sharing your napkin, sharing your big, sharing your bold, sharing your audacious. That's what we look for.
And if you know anybody else that has a napkin idea, that's always like, hey, I got this idea, I got this thought, tell them about it. Give them the opportunity for them to come pitch it and realize that we're here, we're waiting to see what's possible.
We appreciate you. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.